He poured the entire pot of stew on Suswa's hair, and Suswa sat there without saying a word. Later that evening, as her husband returned, she reported the issue to him, but Ado supported his mom and blamed her. She cried and tried to move on with her business, but Ado's mom kept destroying and throwing away all her stew. Suswa got fed up. Even when she tries to eat, Madam Rory would move to the kitchen and insult her. She also took over the kitchen and she started cooking for Ado.
Mommy, why are you stressing yourself? Allow me to cook for my husband now. Go and sit down. Don't stress yourself. Shut up. Can you cook better than me? You think it's that nonsense you have been feeding him with?
Suswa tried to maintain peace. She endured everything, but no matter what she did, it was never enough. Madam Rory continued to belittle her, making her feel inadequate and unworthy. One day, Suswa reached her breaking point. She could not take it anymore. She talked back, and this got Ado's mom very angry. When her son returned, she took him outside.
Your wife wanted to kill me, just because I advised her to stop following men around and to change her bad character. She slapped me, Hey, Mommy, are you serious? I will deal with her today. That girl has crossed the line.
Ado went back inside and started questioning his wife. Before she could even open her mouth, he slapped her and beat her up mercilessly. That was how Ado changed completely. He started spending more time in the neighboring town with his new girlfriend. Suswa tried to talk to him several times, but he never gave her a listening ear. Few weeks later, Suswa discovered she was pregnant. Before she could even inform her husband, her mother-in-law had already noticed, and she quickly informed her son.
When was the last time you laid with that girl?
But Mommy, am I supposed to discuss that with you?
I care about you. That is why I am asking. She is pregnant. I just hope you are the one responsible. You don't spend time here. So how did she get pregnant? I hope you are the one responsible,
I'm the one now. I'm the one.
Look at your mouth. So you are still touching that witch after I told you she's planning to kill you. You are so stubborn. You never listen.
That was how Ado's mom started disturbing Suswa every morning. She would wake her up and ask her to cook for her, and she would sit in the kitchen monitoring her and asking Suswa to prepare the food according to her own recipe. She would send her to buy unnecessary things, and whenever Suswa tries to complain, she would call her a lazy and terrible wife. As Suswa's belly grew bigger, Madam Rory became worse. She would complain about everything, the way she stands, the way she walks, the way she eats, even the way Suswa sleeps.
Stand up, you are not the first person to get pregnant. When I carried my son, I was very strong. You are so lazy. Your mother did not raise you well.
Suswa lay there crying silently, and Ado's mom kept raining insults on her. Insulting Suswa became her daily routine. She would wake up every morning, go to Suswa's room and insult her. Even on the 9th month, Suswa was so heavy, and Madam Rory kept insulting her. Suswa cried, but there was nothing she could do. At this point, Ado was only coming back once in 2 weeks. Above everything, Suswa was excited about the coming of her child. She knew her companion was coming, and she would not be lonely anymore. One evening, as Ado returned, she begged him to sit and eat with her, just like they used to do. But Ado refused. He said he was sleepy and that he needed to rest. Suswa cried a lot that night, and the baby arrived that same night. As Ado sat on the bed, holding his child, he smiled, but his mother looked at him angrily and said,
This child doesn't look like you. I wonder why you are smiling.
And that was the last time Ado ever touched the baby. He even started spending more time at the neighboring town. This made Suswa very sad. Every night, she would sit outside, waiting for her husband to return. But there was no sign of Ado. One night, she thought to herself,
You can't continue like this. I'm also running out of cash. I just have to start doing my business here in the house since they don't want me to go to the market.
And that was how she started cooking around the neighborhood. But it was not easy. Whenever she was busy, That is when the baby would wake up and start crying. So she pleaded with her mother-in-law to assist her with the baby, and her wicked mother-in-law demanded for money. Of course, she paid her, and that became their weekly routine. This continued for a while, and Suswa was making so much money, her mother-in-law would sit beside her and say,
You see, when I gave you this advice, you were grumbling. Now see, it is paying off. I give the best advice in the whole world. You are making a lot of money. You are supposed to increase my payment too. Your child is a lot of work.
Suswa would smile and continue with her cooking. Her customers kept increasing every day. So many people from her neighborhood and beyond kept coming to her spot to eat. Even her husband Ado noticed this, and he started pretending to assist her. He would collect money from her, go to the neighboring town and spend the money on his girlfriend. Every time, he would promise to return and spend the night with his wife and child. But every evening, Suswa would sit outside, waiting for him, but Ado never shows up. Suswa would cry every night, but during the day, she would put on a smile and attend to her customers gracefully. One cold night, she sat outside with her baby. She had a deep thought, then a plan. Few weeks later, Suswa bought a car. Her mother-in-law and her husband stood outside looking at the car, so shocked. Later on,
I hope you bought the car in your husband's name. That is the right thing any good woman would do.
But Suswa stood there smiling without saying a word.
These days, all you do is smile. You don't even talk back at me anymore. I don't understand you, this girl.
Even her husband Ado was already planning in his mind to come back the following week and take the car so he could use it and enjoy with his girlfriends. But Suswa shocked them. The next day, Madame Rory stood outside as she watched Suswa moving away with her child. She packed all her bags and put into the car. Then she drove off with her child. Suswa had already gotten a very nice place for herself and her baby. She also got a very good spot for her food business. The following week, Ado returned and his mom gave him the breaking news. He shouted and blamed her for everything. She shouted back and claimed she did everything out of love. They had a really bad argument and Ado chased her away. As Suswa's business boomed, she got more workers, enjoying life and living happily with her baby, also hoping to find love again.